Oh no, I was just going to share. Speaking of authenticity, I not just in COVID, but I was in college. I was very depressed in college. This was a little while ago, but I struggled with depression for a long time, for example, and for a long time in my 20s. And I was on a journey through different means, some medical, some biochemical assistance and different kinds of, therapy. And then I got better, and then I sort of relapsed, and I struggled with it throughout. And then I found ways, out of it. And it came in some small steps. I always managed, here I am with my metaphors again. I always managed to keep my head, above and keep looking at that wonderful life. But there was moments and there was times in my life, especially going up to COVID, which was actually very recently, where I felt that a lot of my being was really underwater or in quicksand, trying to juggle a life that I felt I was very overburdened by, and a life that I felt I had no control over. I had no control over how stressed I was, or how frustrated I was, or how, or what a bad parent I was being, or, I really felt a lack of ownership or the ability to not be a leaf in the winds of life. And then, actually, particularly in the times of COVID, when all of a sudden my physical life stopped, and I think this goes for maybe a lot of people out there, we had time to look inward. And as I did that, I was able to find that I had a lot more ability to own my life. I was going to say control, but I don't always like to use that word, because that word implies a tightness. But we have the ability to make choices, big or small, to feel that it is our lives, that we are the creators of our life. Just that we are the creators of our life from moment to moment. And ultimately, we're also the creators of our imagination, which includes our hopes, for the future. And that, I think, is the most important thing with creating joy and awe and wonder in our lives. It's just starting with the ability, I can choose to look this way or that way. I can choose to imagine a better future. Because if my future is unknown, I might as well imagine a good one, or a better one, just a better one. I can imagine a better afternoon than my morning. I can imagine a better tomorrow than today, a better next week than today, whatever that better means to you. But a better that makes you feel more alive and pleasant here. Yeah. That's it. There's more, but does that answer any of your questions?
Yes, definitely, 100%. Now, looking at the acting side of things, I have limited knowledge in the acting industry, but one thing that I know for certain is that there's a lot of depression that can go on down there because of the pressure, the stress that comes with the workload and all that stuff. Now, how have you been managing to stay afloat regardless of the pressure that comes with it? Because studies on daily basis show that there's an increase in depression in workplaces like never before. More people are stressed. There are some times where you find yourself in a space where there's a lot of pressure on you. There is a lot of work that is waiting for you to do. There are a lot of things, there's so much to do, pressure from friends, family, and sometimes there is an individual, you fail to have your you time. You fail to have time for yourself because so many things are on you. And sometimes you fail to have that breathing space because of so many things that are going on around. But my question is, how did you manage, and how do you still manage to stay afloat regardless of what is going on around you?
Well, personally, over time in my performance, for example, like when I was, acting, and yet I was sort of deeply stressed, or I was depressed, or I felt like very much like a leaf in the winds of life. I don't want to underestimate the word, victim. That's a very, very but I had that sort of mentality, and in the performance world, for me, getting, attention or applause and but living on stage, being able to live out a life that didn't have consequences, pressure, that was a relief for me. So the fact that I was a performer allowed for me to have an outlet for those kinds of stresses. And I came alive on stage or in rehearsals, in practice. And so I was lucky and blessed that I was able to have that thing that kept me above water. But in my life outside of performing and rehearsals, it was much more difficult. And I've discovered now, though, that I can have tools, that allow me to get through stressful times and stressful moments. Sometimes it might be just a breath, like just stop.
Yeah.
You can close your eyes, take a deep breath, hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4, and breathe out. 2, 3, 4. You might do things like that. There's lots of things on the internet you can look up about breathing exercises. There's apps for your phone, but things like that, for example. Also, knowing that you can actually get through an action without, with or without your stress. So, for example, if I'm have to make photocopies and I have to make 20 and I have to make them within the next 10 minutes. You see my face? Like I'm just bringing in some acting. I'm going like, this whole thing, this worry about it doesn't help me do the task. I might use it for a second to remember that it's important or that it's urgent.
Yeah.
But then when I'm doing the thing, I might as well put that thing aside and do it and then come back. Now that takes practice, right? And but that's one aspect of it. You can literally take your anxiety and your fears and know that your anxiety and your fears are in your thoughts, and your thoughts are not you. They're not the whole you. That recognition alone might be able to be enough. Like, you know what? I have these fears, I have these stresses, but they are not me. They're not the whole me. The whole me can do this. The whole me can take care of what I need to take care of right now for the day. And I can take my fears and my anxieties sort of with me, but know that you're so much more than your fears and your stresses. And then when you get through knowing that, you can get to the other side and say, oh my goodness, I had courage, or I was brave. I did it anyway. And then that realization can help you give yourself a gift, tap yourself on the back and say, good job, I did that. And then your identity changes, right? Just a little bit. Your identity goes from, oh, I'm a person who can get through something. So then the next day or the next time you're in that situation, oh, I don't have to be so fearful or stressed about this because I got through it last time. Then you don't have to make as much of an effort. So, and there's other pieces to it, whether it's try to eat healthy, just or know that this too shall pass, which comes a little bit more from a sort of a spiritual background, but really trying to embrace those and trust that those kinds of tools will help you.
Definitely.
I think works. Yeah, and it has to. And for a lot of people, there's a lot of puzzle pieces, and there's a lot of things at once. Not good nutrition, no time to exercise, no time to even take a deep breath. So there's different tools, and I'm here for people. Look me up or come to me. I'm here for you, Anisu. You can reach out to me too. But it's the hope. Some of us have.
Definitely.
Some of us are in a position where we might be able to dream about next month and do things about it. And that some of us have that luxury. Some of us only have the luxury of hoping for next week. And some of us are in a position where it's just tomorrow. But we do have the ability to dream. Everybody can dream about a better long-term life. But in terms of getting through the day or each and every hour, that depends on the people. That depends on our situations. Oh my goodness. My last words are this. Stay present. Stay in the moment. And that releases worry about the future and regrets about the past. Because stress is always some kind of worrying about what's about to happen or what might happen tomorrow or a year from now, or worries about what has happened, regrets about the past. See my face? But staying present and recognizing that then we have breath. Anesu, our friend, is here. I have fingers. I have a wonderful cup. I am sitting upright. Just staying present with others and with ourselves.
Yeah.
When all else fails, but no matter what, stay present. And from there, you can build.
That's
and
very true.
hopefully build joy. There you go. That's it.